everybody, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to play with color changing vinyl. The dress I'm wearing today has color changing vinyl on it. I wore it on our visit to Pearl Harbor in Hawaii on our recent trip. If you look closely, you'll see that the hearts here are just white and red. But when I went out into the sun on my visit to Pearl Harbor, the color changing vinyl turned from white to blue. It was like the stars came out. It was so cool. So today I'm going to show you how to make a super cool color changing t-shirt with UV reactive iron-on vinyl designs too. I'll even show you how to layer your color changing HTV for maximum colorful effects. So follow me over to the craft table and we'll get started. These 80s and 90s styles are really making a comeback, aren't they? Color changing effects are a fun retro trend that I'm happy to see resurface. And this is no surprise, but I am a big fan of color after all. Now, when I saw Cricut's new UV activated color changing iron-on vinyl, I knew I had to try it right away. And it is super cool. Right out of the light, the vinyl looks white, as you can see here. When it's exposed to sunlight or a black light, it changes color. It comes in a few different colors, including violet, blue, and yellow, all of which we'll be using today. I'll also be using some black Cricut Everyday Iron-On Vinyl, but you can use whichever colors you want, of course. If you're using a black t-shirt, for example, you'll want to use white or another lighter color iron-on vinyl so your design actually shows up. Color changing heat transfer vinyl can be cut on any Cricut cutting machine, even the Cricut Joy. I'll be using my Cricut Maker 3 with a green standard grip machine mat. I think that works best for this project. You can apply your color changing vinyl to any color shirt you like. Just be sure that the material is safe for heat transfer. Black and white are perfectly fine options, but my thought is the more color, the better, right? So what could be more fun than applying color changing vinyl to a color changing shirt? Do you remember these? Color changing shirts were popular a while back as well as, the color changing vinyl. This shirt is heat activated and perfectly complements your color changing vinyl design. I found it on Amazon and the link is in my materials list. And to weed your vinyl design once it's cut, you'll need a weeding tool. And since white vinyl can be tough to weed, a light box like the Cricut Bright Pad Go can really help you see what you're doing. It's not necessary, it's just nice to have. To apply your color changing vinyl to your t-shirt, you will also need a heat press like the Cricut Easy Press. You can also use a Cricut Auto Press, a standard heat press, or even a household iron, along with a pressing mat or a folded towel. A lint roller is pretty important too for this because you want to get rid of any extra fuzz or lint from your shirt before you put on your iron-on vinyl. And when it's time to place the design on your shirt, I always recommend using one of my handy t-shirt rulers. You can cut these out right on your cutting machine and they're super useful for projects like this. You can find them at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. Otherwise, a regular ruler will do the trick too. And you'll also want to have some scissors and a craft knife handy for this project. And one last thing, you probably also want some fun designs for your awesome color changing vinyl, right? So let me show you how to get my the Hue-Manatee shirt and going through a colorful phase shirt so you can use them too. Step 1, get my free design files. Go to jennifermaker.com and look for libraries in the red bar at the top. Then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 489. When you find it, click it to download the zip file. The download folder includes a PDF if you want to cut it by hand, and SVG and DXF files for use with the cutting machine. Download and unzip the file. If you're not sure how to do that, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to unzip and upload files. Inside the SVG folder, you'll find 4 files. 2 of them are all ready for the Cricut Joy, and 2 are for use on other larger format cutting machines, like the Cricut Maker and the Cricut Explorer. Inside, you'll find my funny "Oh, the Hue-Manatee" design and my "Going Through a Colorful Phase" butterfly design. If you need some extra help with layering, I've included a PDF layering guide in the design file too. So I'd like to show you how to prepare this in Cricut Design Space. To begin, start a new project in Cricut Design Space. Click Upload, Upload Image, and browse to find the project's SVG folder. Select the file you want to use and then click Open. I'll use the colorful phase design. Click Upload and then select it from your recent uploads and click Add to Canvas. Step 2. Customize your design. Here's what the design looks like on my canvas when it first comes in. Let's use a template to see what the design will look like on a shirt. Click on Templates, then search for Classic T-shirts. Select the style, size, and color to match your shirt. I'll select a woman's short sleeve shirt in medium and change the color to light green to match my green to yellow color changing t-shirt. You'll notice some extra hearts around the design. These are called registration marks, and they're going to make it easier to line up each section of vinyl. I'll show you how to use them later. This design looks awesome at around 9 inches, but you may want to resize it if you have a different size shirt. You can check out my handy guide for sizing your design at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. Since I'm using Color Changing HTV, I've separated the design into several layers for maximum effect. Feel free to change up the colors or even incorporate different styles of iron-on vinyl. Have fun with this. Now, when choosing your materials, remember that when layering iron-on vinyl, specialty vinyl like this color-changing vinyl should only be applied on top of everyday iron-on vinyl. So while everyday vinyl can layer on top of everyday vinyl, nothing's supposed to layer on top of specialty vinyl. That said, I totally did layer everyday iron-on vinyl on top of UV color changing vinyl on my flag heart dress that I showed you at the start of this video, and it turned out great. So your mileage may vary. Just know that the official word from Cricut is no layering on top of UV color changing vinyl. All right, so we're ready to cut. Make sure that the correct machine is selected and then click Make It. Step 3, cut your vinyl design. Click on each mat and then toggle on Mirror. This is really important or your image will appear backward on your shirt. Always mirror any iron-on vinyl projects unless the packaging suggests otherwise. Click back on the first mat and then click Continue. On the Make screen, with the black mat selected, set the base material to Everyday Iron-On, or whatever material you'd like to use for the 2 largest butterflies outlines. Select More Pressure to get the best cut. Place your vinyl shiny side down onto a clean, green, standard grip machine mat. Use a brayer to make sure it's stuck down really well. With a clean fine point blade in clamp B, insert the mat into your Cricut and press the flashing button to load it. Then press the Flash and Go button to begin cutting. When the cut is complete, press the button to unload it and then repeat the same steps for all the other mats. But be sure to change the material setting to UV activated color changing iron-on and the pressure to more when you get to that machine mat. Next, use your weeding tool to remove all the extra vinyl in the design. If the vinyl doesn't come off easily, make a small nick in the corner with your craft knife to help it lift off of the carrier sheet. And be sure to leave the heart registration marks on the carrier sheets too. Now, white vinyl, which is how the UV reactive material looks indoors, it looks white, right? Can be especially tricky to weed because it's hard to see the cut lines in white vinyl. But the Cricut Bright Pad can really help here. The light won't change the color of the vinyl, but it does shine through the cut lines to help you see them more easily. So if you don't have a bright pad, you could also put this up against a window, just something that you can see your cut lines easier when you weed. After weeding all 4 layers and cutting the elements apart if needed, refer to your canvas in Cricut Design Space for help arranging them in the right order. And if you need any help with layering, check out the layering guide PDF in the design file too. Step 4, layer the color changing vinyl. Get your pressing mat ready and preheat your heat press. Check the Cricut heat guide at jennifermaker.com/easypress to see what temperature and time is best. When I checked, the Cricut heat guide calls for 315 degrees Fahrenheit or 157 degrees Celsius, but we need to set ours to actually 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 degrees Celsius. That's because we're layering, and layering requires multiple presses. So we want to make sure we don't overheat the first few layers of vinyl. If you're using an iron and a cotton t-shirt, set your iron to the cotton setting. If your shirt is something other than cotton, like polyester, adjust your settings accordingly, and always remember to turn the steam setting off. Fold your shirt in half by matching up the sleeves and sides, and then press the center for 10 seconds. This will both preheat the shirt and put a crease right down the center. And then when you open up your shirt, you'll know exactly where the center is. Lay the shirt on your pressing mat and then use a lint roller to remove any stray lint or fuzz. We'll apply the text layer first. Pinch the middle top and bottom of the carrier sheet to crease it. Then use these folds to align the design to the middle crease in your shirt. Isn't that cool? Now you can use my handy t-shirt ruler to ensure the design placement is the correct distance from the neck of the shirt. You can download the file over at jennifermaker.com/t-shirt ruler guide. If you don't want the registration mark hearts on your final shirt, stick small pieces of heat-resistant tape under them directly on the shirt. The tape should only be a little bigger than the heart, otherwise it will block other vinyl from being applied in your other layers. Press for 10 seconds, just enough to tack the vinyl down. Now usually color changing iron-on vinyl should be cool when you peel off the carrier sheet, but since we're layering, we'll peel when it's still warm. If any of the vinyl sticks to the carrier sheet or lifts from the shirt, stop peeling. Lay the carrier sheet back down and press for an extra 3 seconds. Add a few seconds at a time until it's well adhered. If you're using tape under your registration marks, the hearts will stick to your tape. Leave the tape on the shirt until you've finished applying all layers of the design. Now set the liner aside because we're going to use it again in a moment. Next, position the wing outline pieces, lining up the registration marks and the existing shapes. You might notice that the bottom layer has shrunk just a little bit, and that's completely normal. If your pieces curl or shift, tape them down with some heat-resistant tape. Put a piece of heat-resistant tape on the shirt under the new registration marks if you don't want them applied to your shirt. If any of the first layer of vinyl is uncovered, put the used carrier sheet on top to prevent any vinyl from touching your heat press directly. Press the second layer for 3 seconds and then check if it adhered. If it didn't, put the liner back down and press for another 3 seconds. And then just peel the carrier sheets off carefully while they're still warm. Repeat for the third layer, the small butterflies and wing sections, matching the registration marks to the vinyl below. Again, you want to press in 3-second increments until it's adhered, and then remove your carrier sheets. When you get to the final color, again, place the used carrier sheet over any exposed parts of the design to protect it and your heat press. Since this is the last layer, you'll want to increase the temperature of your Easy Press to 315 degrees Fahrenheit or 157 degrees Celsius. And then when it's ready, press for 20 seconds. Wait for the carrier sheets and vinyl to completely cool before removing the sheets, and then remove the tape if you used it. And will you look at that? How cute is this? Let's talk about, the Hue-Manatee design. My manatee design applies pretty much the same way as the one that we just did. Remember to tape the shirt underneath the hearts if you don't want them as part of your final design. We'll press the Manatee first with the carrier sheet sticky side down. Press at 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 degrees Celsius for 10 seconds. Then peel the carrier sheet off while it's still warm. Line up the next layer, that will be the Manatee's face, with each set of registration marks. Cover the whole design with a used carrier sheet from the Manatee's body and apply heat in 3-second increments until well applied. Leave the liner on for now. And lastly, line up the words and press the entire design for 20 seconds this time. Let it cool completely before removing the liners, and voila! Isn't this cool? Step 5, show it off. Look at how awesome these color-changing t-shirts turned out. Here's my butterfly shirt inside, and then out in the sunlight. And here's my manatee inside, and then outside in the sun. Isn't this super cool? Didn't these color-changing shirts turn out so cool? I just love that depending on the temperature and light, the t-shirt can look entirely different. It's like having multiple t-shirts in one, right? And if you're not into everything being color-changing, they also look great on solid color t-shirts too, don't you think? Just remember that the color-changing vinyl turns white inside, like when you're inside or in the shade, and factor that into your design if you're using a white shirt. Like with this one, you can only see the black vinyl when it's not color changed. And the same thing goes for putting your color-changing vinyl on a colored shirt. Make sure your design will show up whether it's white or it's UV-activated color. Unless invisible is what you're going for, which could be fun too, actually, depending on the design. And remember, you can always experiment with using everyday iron-on vinyl for outlines or for layering. The color-changing vinyl layers really well over everyday iron-on vinyl, and there are so many possibilities. Just remember to have fun with it. That is the goal here. Now, to care for your color-changing vinyl t-shirt, be sure to wait at least 24 hours after transferring the design before washing. Wash it inside out with cold water only, and then hang it or tumble dry low. If you ever need to iron the shirt, flip it over and iron it from the back. Okay, so don't iron the vinyl directly. Now, if you have any questions about working with color-changing vinyl or anything else craft-related that you think I can help you with, please let me know. Leave your question below this video or come ask in our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. And show me all your color-changing projects too. I love to see all of the ways that people use this vinyl. It's so creative. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.